What's up, you guys? My name is Tess. Welcome back to my channel. So as you may know, I am an esthetician and I film a lot of videos around esthetician education, skincare, health, and wellness. Today's video is going to be a Q&A, so I wanted to go through my DMs and answer some really interesting questions you guys have had, comments on video, things like that. I feel like just periodically I want to do this as new trends arise in skincare, as certain ingredients become more prominent, and just answer the questions that are on your guys' minds so that I can bring you the most value possible. That said, always open to new suggestions and video ideas, so leave any questions in the comments below. And before we get into this video, I just wanted to say it would mean so much if you like this video, if you do like it, and subscribe for more videos. If you like me, I started just making little videos on my iPhone in esthetician school before I really had any friends, and it's crazy that it has just grown to be such a wonderful community and something that inspires me daily and honestly gives me a reason to get out of bed. I love you guys so much. We're almost to 5K, so if you shared this with your classmates or friends or people interested in skincare, it would mean the world to me. And that is it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Okay, this question is actually from a client of mine and a very sweet Instagram and YouTube subscriber. So her question is about oils. She says, I use jojoba oil to remove my makeup before a full cleanse. Do you think this is okay with my acne-prone skin? So knowing her and knowing this person, I think this is a really interesting question because I think oils can be wonderful for the right person in moderation, and depending on the type of oil and the other ingredients that are involved, if it's a pure oil, if it's a serum with a bunch of different oils. So I think oils can be kind of confusing for consumers, and I think especially in today's day and age, makeup balms and makeup removers and oils just in general are big, not only a trend, but I think they're very luxurious and people enjoy using them, and I understand that myself. I love a good oil, but I think if you are acne prone, it may be a good idea to think about oils in your routine and really evaluate how often you're using them in your routine, because they can be in things like makeup, they can be in your makeup remover, in your moisturizer, you might use them in a serum or just as a pure oil. So I think we just have to consider like how much we're using them, and if there are layers of oils on your skin, it can cause a problem. So in this case, she's talking about using oils to remove makeup. I think for most people, especially considering jojoba oil tends to be less comedogenic oil, which, sorry to go on so many little side tangents here, but the term non-comedogenic, it's really not a black and white term. It's kind of a sliding scale. So something like jojoba tends to be less pore clogging, and it would be a better choice than something like coconut oil or marula oil, which could be a little bit more comedogenic. So I would say, and my advice was to Katie, was to possibly try using an oil-free option just so she could minimize like the risks going on in her routine and see if it makes a difference. Because although something may be non-comedogenic based on a certain group of skin types, for her it might cause a problem. So I think just in general, it tends to be a good idea to minimize oils in your routine unless you are, battling something like eczema, or you have a very mature skin that really has a tough time holding on to water and hydration. You might need that oil as an occlusive. The other thing is with makeup removers, not all of them tend to rinse clean. So if Katie is using jojoba oil on her skin and then following up with a cleanser that doesn't remove all of the oil, it could be, causing a buildup. And that oxygen not being able to get to the skin could be a problem for acne-prone skin. So short answer is, I would say minimize oils in the routine. If you are acneic, look for possibly an oil-free moisturizer. Look at the oils in your makeup, and I would try to minimize it and see if that makes a difference. Okay, my next question is from an esthetician student, and she said, I can't remember what course you suggested as far as an online course for continued education. You said it was online and highly suggested it. So the course I was talking about is called, I believe it's called Ingredients, and it is available through the Concepts Institute website. Concepts Institute is located in the Bay Area, but I think it is a wonderful resource, and they do have some online courses. It is taught by Michelle Fallon, who is just such an expert in our industry, so I highly recommend that class if you are wanting to take something additional outside. I think employers look for a knowledge of ingredients, and I think it's always beneficial. I've taken the class, but I'm also thinking about taking it again as a refresher. I wanted to ask you about Esty School. I'm getting into it for the skincare. I'm not great at makeup. I know we're in different states, but was the state exam for makeup difficult? Oh, this is a little tough to answer, of course, because the state board exam varies from state to state. In my memory, there wasn't much makeup on the state board exam, but the test could obviously change. I would just say my advice is, if something makes you uncomfortable, spend that much more time on it just for your peace of mind. Even if you don't want to be a makeup artist after school, I think it's always worth it to put in a little bit of additional work and practice so that you feel comfortable in a high pressure situation. And my best advice is for state board, whether it's makeup, doing facials, waxing, my main advice and what they look for is to be sanitary. They're not looking to judge your makeup technique. They're not looking for the next like Hollywood movie star artist. They are purely looking to make sure you are being safe and sanitary in the exam. She says she has two questions. First is, do you use a fitness plan when you're at the gym, and which one? This is a fun question. I like this question. So I don't follow a plan at the gym, and this is something I'm thinking about getting more into. I've always been interested in fitness, but I feel like lately I'm on another level. Not that I've been doing anything insane in the gym, but I have been trying to watch more videos and deepen my knowledge of training, recovery, and nutrition in the gym, which are things I don't think I had the best perspective on originally. Not that my perspective was bad, but I think I didn't really understand like eating and nutrition to fuel athletic recovery, and I've always been interested in health and fitness, but I think now I understand better that when you're athletic and you're training hard in the gym, how certain foods benefit you. And I'm never going to be somebody who counts my macros or counts calories. I've downloaded things like MyFitnessPal so many times, and just because I see a lot of fitness experts recommend it, and I think if I wanted to take my body to that next level, which I think would be really awesome to be so on it, but I really enjoy intuitive eating, and I feel like tracking every little thing for me would not be mentally like healthy, and I think there are people who can do it in a mentally healthy way, but for me, I think since I'm already so focused on health and healing and just making sure I feel good all the time, I don't really want to get into a space where I am basing my diet off of trying to hit a certain calorie deficit or surplus. To me, it just doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound enjoyable. So what I like right now is weight training, and I really like Whitney Simmons. There's a girl called Mari Fitness. I really like her on YouTube. So I've been getting more into watching those style of videos of weight training, and I'm really interested in slowly learning how to lift more weight. But I tend to be the type of person who does like Pilates a couple times a week, like goes to the gym a couple times a week, probably work out 5 times a week. So no, I don't have a strict plan, but I really enjoy watching YouTube videos and following other people's exercises and ideas for their routines. This is her second part of the question. I think it's a really good one. She said, so as a new esthetician, I'm allowed to make my own schedule. My body is not used to anything yet. How many days a week did you start out working at your job at first? I love this question. It's something I had no grasp on going into SD school. And in SD school, we would work in the spa 2 days a week, and we would take usually 2 clients. And I remember at the time feeling like that was a lot for my body. I didn't know how people could do 3 clients. It was a lot for me. And I think it's something your body does adapt to. But the first time you start doing facials, I think we're just talking about facials, not waxing, which I primarily do skincare and facials at my job. So I think your body gets used to it, but that's another reason I really prioritize not only my training to be strong in the gym and stretching, things like that, but also recovery. So sleep and my rest days are very important. I try to take my rest days on days I'm not working so my body can fully like rehab and rebuild. So for me, what I figured out with Hashimoto's is that 2 days is kind of my max. I have mentioned this in a separate video. I spend my other days working on my family business. So I am an SD right now 2 days a week, and I take clients from 11:30 typically until I wrap up around 8. So for me, that is a lot on my body, and I find myself sore. I feel inflamed, and not everyone will have this response, but for me, I've just realized I don't want to burn myself out because this is a career I truly treasure and love, and I feel so grateful to do it. And if it's coming from a place of burnout and fatigue and taking a toll on my health, I won't be able to continue at all. So for me, this type of schedule works best, but everyone I work with tends to work 5 days a week, so it really just depends on your body, what you can handle. It's so different for everyone. Fitness influencers and trainers say they wouldn't recommend their own macros to you or reaching a certain calorie amount and recommending that to you. Similarly, I feel like I don't want to recommend a certain schedule to you because everybody is different. I wish there was just a one size fits all type of plan, but I think you're gonna have to try it out, and maybe that means trying 3 days a week to start, or trying 2 or trying 4 and seeing what works for you, or trying shorter windows where you take clients. For me, I have very long 2 days a week, whereas some people break it up a bit more, and that's what works for them. So I think you're going to have to do some experimentation. I think it would be nice to kind of set the expectation with your boss that you are wanting to try a certain amount of days before you set anything in stone. That way you are both in it for the long haul, and you avoid any surprises later down the line. So that would be my advice. Okay, the next question is, I do not have any vitamin C in my current routine. Any recommendations? So I love this question because I love vitamin C. I think it's such a crucial ingredient. It really supports collagen synthesis. So that essentially means anti-aging and our skin's ability to fight off free radical damage and heal itself and reduce vascularity, things like redness. So I'm all for vitamin C pretty much for everyone. The thing about vitamin C is there are so many different formulas, and vitamin C, it really can be one, unstable, and maybe that means it causes a problem for the skin or it doesn't do anything. On the other hand, it can also be quite stimulating, and it does offer a little bit of exfoliation, so that can lead to irritation or breakouts. So if you are rosacea prone or acne prone, it's important to look for kind of a slow release formula. So an ingredient I look for is magnesium ascorbyl phosphate. We have a formula at Dermaplus called Cplex that is wonderful for somebody's first vitamin C, for somebody who's really sensitive, rosacea prone, or is very breakout prone. Because when you go for a strong vitamin C, something like a 20% right off the bat, the skin doesn't have time to adjust to it, and it might just trigger a bunch of inflammation, which, as we know, creates problems for the skin. So something like an L-ascorbic acid 20% would be more for a strong skin, a really sturdy skin, somebody who, you know, has been using professional products, who has a good skincare routine, and is able to tolerate a little bit of stimulation. As far as recommendations, it really does depend on your skin type. Magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, Cplex, is a great one for kind of delicate skin types. If you are kind of working to increase that, Dermaplus has a normal vitamin C that is at 10%. I know Obagi makes a great 20% vitamin C. So I think it's important to look at the percentage and look at the other ingredients, look at the packaging. Vitamin C should be in dark packaging, and it's important what it is stabilized with as well. I know companies like The Ordinary have recently put out just a pure form of L-ascorbic acid with no stabilizer. That really leaves a lot of faith in the consumer, and I don't think most people are little chemists in their bathroom knowing how to stabilize vitamin C. So by offering that ingredient that's really buzzworthy, L-ascorbic acid, I think it is really irresponsible, and it is just, you know, cheaper for them to produce, but involves a lot of potential risk for the consumer. So just keep in mind, vitamin C is a crucial ingredient, but it's important what type you buy, essentially. What sunscreen do you like for your face and your makeup? I'm having a hard time finding a good sunscreen. So sunscreen, there's a little saying I heard at an esthetician conference once, and that was the best sunscreen is the one you will use. And I think this is so true. Sometimes sunscreens can be a little tricky. It can be the viscosity, the consistency is too thick for somebody who's acne prone. Maybe they break out from things like minerals, so it really depends on the person. I am personally using one by Ulta MD at the moment, which I love. It does have niacinamide in it, which is a great ingredient for rosacea prone or even acne prone skin types. It's very healing, and it is a mineral sunscreen, so it's a physical blocker. It is going to physically block the sun, as opposed to a chemical sunscreen that can absorb the light. So it really just depends on what works for you. I really like Ulta MD at the moment, and I find a wide variety of people are able to use it, and it's not too thick, so I think that is good. And so I would say try that if you're curious, and if it doesn't work for you, keep trying things until you find one you love that you will use every day and reapply every 2 hours or so if you are exposed to the sun. Don't forget your décolleté, tops of your hands, your ears, all that. It's so important. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to take. Hey boo, can you do a video on the scary side of a proper skincare routine? LOL. I used a retinol from The Ordinary a few months ago because my skin went crazy. Okay, so I'm not going to do a full video on the scary side of a proper skin routine because I think it's so use case dependent, and I think there are a lot of different interpretations about what a good skincare routine is. As much as I love retinol, there is a strong possibility it doesn't work for you because it doesn't work for everyone, absolutely everyone, I would say start slow and integrate it slowly, but I don't know what else was going on in the routine. I don't know if there was underlying congestion. What retinol does is it stimulates that cell turnover, so it certainly can bring congestion to the surface, which isn't a bad thing, but that is why typically there tends to be a little bit of an adjustment period with retinol. And if you get it from your derm, they will likely tell you could experience dryness, you could experience more breakouts. It really just depends on the person and what their skin can tolerate. That said, what I think she is getting at is, you know, what potential risks are involved when you are using active ingredients, and I think it's a really good and fair point. And as an esthetician myself, I've definitely experienced going overboard with actives. I think it's important to understand things like glycolic, salicylic, retin A, even vitamin C, all these things together, it can be too much. So I always suggest easing into a skincare routine. You can patch test things on your neck, which is even more delicate than the face. I always say, even when people ask me to recommend a skincare routine, I say start easing things in slowly, work your way up with percentages, work your way up when you are incorporating more active things, because the worst case scenario is you do everything at once and you are just stripping your barrier, your skin is confused, it's overstimulated, you're breaking out, and your skin is compromised. So slow and steady, I think, really wins the race. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for all of your questions. Please comment on this video if you have any more. I always screenshot and save them, again, because I want to answer your questions, the things that are on your minds. If they're on your mind specifically, it's probably on somebody else's mind, and that way I can help more people. So thank you so much for watching. Again, it would mean so much if you like this video, if even one of these tips helped you out, and subscribe before you go, and I will see you in the next video.